Hi, this is Frank Warren and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal Khan for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. We're here at the Wembley Box Park Arena ahead of Saturday night's show at the OVO Arena. I'm delighted to be joined by Anthony Sims Jr.
Yeah, definitely. I think,
Entertaining as always. That was an entertaining press conference. You take on Zak Chelli this Saturday night. Firstly, training camp preparation, how's that all coming along?
The training camp is done. If you're not ready now, you're gonna never be ready. But all that's out the way. Now it's just time to have fun. The hardest part is out the way. Training, sparring, running, self-control, discipline, and sacrifice. It's all going out the way now. Now it's time to just have fun.
I mean, this is a very interesting fight, a fight that a lot of people are really looking forward to. It's a fight that nobody expected to be made at one point. But how's this fight come about, Anthony?
Two amazing matchmakers. I can't say their name right now, but these two amazing matchmakers for Boxer set the fight up. Talked to Ben Salome, we set up, made it happen.
I mean, I remember when I spoke to you last year, the week of the Tyson Fury versus Dillian White fight, and I asked you how far are you from the likes of the Canelos, you know, the big names. Is it fair to say that this fight is perhaps a stepping stone against Zak Chelli that gets you to those big major fights?
I wouldn't say so much a stepping stone. It would be just more building my base again in the UK. Because as I said before, you can think you're the best fighter in the world, but unless the fans think so, unless the fans take liking to you and are backing you and behind you, you're nobody. So I think this fight is mainly about showcasing my skills on a great platform, doing it in England, building my brand again here, getting all my fans and people behind me so that we can start taking on these big fights. Because now boxing is a business. So these big fights, they won't happen unless you have a following. You know, boxing now is about Instagram followers and how many tickets you can sell. So if you don't have a big following, those big fights more than likely won't happen, let alone the promoters making the fights and managers making the fight. But to sum all that up, I wouldn't say that this is a stepping stone to title fights because he's a strong up-and-coming fighter, but stylistic-wise, he's not one of the dogs up there like of the 160-pounders, Liam Smith or Triple G or Canelo. So I wouldn't even put those in the same. Let alone, I'm not underestimating him. I don't overlook him. Any man in that ring is a threat. But, you know, if it's a chicken, you don't call it a duck.
and Ireland to be great. I think you're going to do a little bit of work up for us now.
That's a very, very good point. Right, so Zak Chelli has a very good record. Has been in some eye-catching British domestic fights over the last few years. What's your thoughts on Zak as a fighter and what you've seen of him?
He's a strong pressure fighter, but the thing is he hasn't fought anybody with power. He fought Jermaine Brown, sharp, boxing kid, but he's not the biggest puncher. Most of the fights he's had, everybody he's fought had no more than 3 knockouts. None of them. And I fought guys with 15, 16, 17 knockouts. I fought Ramir Angulo. I lost that fight, but he's still one of the biggest punchers walking this earth. I fought Morgan Fitch. He's a puncher too, contender. Stopped him. Devin Alexander, strong, tough puncher. I didn't stop him, but I whooped him. So it's just, you want to gauge careers. You basically he's measuring my career versus your career. Let alone amateur background. The knowledge I have is incomparable to his. So I don't see. You know what I mean? You get where I'm coming from, man. You feel me right here, bro. You feel me right here, bro.
I saw the e-presser between you two guys. Zak claimed that you stepped up once and you lost. Question the level of opposition you've beaten. Just want to get your thoughts on Zak's comments.
That wasn't a step up. That was a world title fight. Step up. There's no higher you can go than a world title fight, the WBO. But things happen. Wasn't with the right coach. Wasn't with the right team. I don't make excuses. I lost that fight fair and square. But boxing is all about what? Transitioning and going through phases. Roberto Duran lost to Tommy Hearns. Got knocked out. He came back and he started whooping everybody. Marvin Hagler lost to Sugar Ray Leonard. You have to come back and you have to learn from these. Every fighter goes through their phases. When Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Roberto Duran, first fight. Second fight, he came back a different fighter. If you're staying the same, then you're not growing. That's boxing and that's life. If you're not adjusting and changing, then you'll never get better. You gotta lose someday, baby. So I'd rather lose now than lose later. I learned that lesson. I learned what it takes to get to that point. So now this time going around, I'm not like this. I'm like this because I've done it. I know what to look for. I know what it takes. I know exactly where I got to be at to make it happen. So I wouldn't say, the bullshit he said, his biggest step up. That wasn't a step up. There's no higher you can step than fighting for a WBA or WBO or a world title fight. It's like going to the Super Bowl. I lost at the Super Bowl of boxing. I went to the Super Bowl. How many people can say that? Do you know how many people can say they went? Or no, I went to a World Cup, but I lost.
Tom Brady has a great record at the Super Bowl.
We ain't talk about Tom Brady because the Patriots are cheaters, you know.
Anyway, moving on. So you've had 24 professional fights. Zak's had just under 15. You fought for a world title. Would you say the experience that you have gives you the upper hand going into this fight on Saturday night?
Absolutely. Boxing skills pay the bills. No matter how strong you are, how much speed you have, how many knockouts you have. You gotta be able to use this. Same arm reach almost, same height, same build. But it comes down to this. Boxing is the thinking man's game. It's not about who's the strongest or who throws the most punches. It's about who's the most deceptive, who's the most sneaky, who can manage time, manage the ring the best, who can control their opponent without even throwing punches. Boxing is the thinking man's game. Work smarter, not harder.
I noticed a bit of needle between you and Zak's father. Now, I've attended many press conferences, and Zak's father's a very local man. He's very confident about his son. He rates him very highly.
Shut that shit down. We don't play that shit.
I wasn't too. I was a bit far behind you guys. So what happened?
You want to talk that wolf shit? In America, we don't play that. Here in the UK, you may be gentlemanist. In America, talk that shit, you get fucking slapped. So we shut that shit down. All the yelling and hoorah, we don't do that. This boxing is a business. We're here to sell tickets, promote, but at a certain level you don't go past, and he stepped across that line when he came knocking on my door for a signature. Wait afterwards. You want an autograph? Knock on my door after the fight, but don't come to my door 3 or 4 days before the fight. That's too far. Promote the fight where people can see it. Don't try to do some little stupid weird shit stalking me. I don't play that. That's unprofessional. Let's sit there and promote the fight in front of fans when the cameras is rolling. When the cameras turn off, go your way, I go mine. Don't come knocking on my door with your son, and he don't want to knock on the door. It's the dad knocking on my door. The son looked like he didn't want to even fucking be at my door. He didn't know where the fuck he was at. He just standing there with his hands in his pocket like, you know, so.
As you just mentioned, you mentioned Liam Smith, you mentioned Golovkin. We all know Liam Smith beat Chris Eubank Jr. a few weeks ago. They're at 160 pounds. Is this fight being contested at 168?
This fight is at 168, but after this fight, all my fights will be at 160.
So are you comfortable at 168, or can you make both weights?
Both weights. I was always taught to be the best in the weight class above you and the weight class below you. And that's the old school way. You gotta be able to do both.
Someone made a point about Chris Eubank Jr. They said he looks shot at 160 pounds, like he's sort of outgrown that weight. How do fighters in your position that are fighting at 160, 168 remain in shape when they're going up and down in weight? What's the key?
Well, you look at the old school fighters, Sugar Ray Robinson, Jake LaMotta, fighters like that, Benny Briscoe, Max Baer. These guys fought heavyweight ones at 180 pounds, 170 pounds. You go up, the size of the opponent doesn't matter. You have to be able to master what you have, whether it's your reach, your speed, your power, your agility, and you use it. It don't matter which weight class you are. If you go from 160 to 168, the guys might be a little bit taller. That means you got to work a little harder to get inside. If the guys are smaller, that means they're going to be a little quicker. It's just, each weight class is just, it varies depending on, it really depends on your opponent, man. It don't fucking matter about what weight class, because bantamweight, featherweight, welterweight, all of us, we face the same fucking risk when we step in that ring, whether you're a heavyweight or a flyweight. It don't matter. But it matters about you mastering your body, whether you're a little man or big man. You should be able to fight a smaller person than you or a bigger person than you. You shouldn't just, I'm the big guy and I can whoop everybody because everybody's smaller than me. You seen what happened with Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Being a big man, being big and strong doesn't mean anything. Skills pay the bills.
I have to get your prediction for Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. That fight takes place in a few weeks' time in Dubai. We're finally going to find out how Jake Paul gets on with a real boxer. What do you think happens when those two get in the ring?
Nobody care about that corny fucking fight, man. Like, Logan Paul, you're talking about YouTubers. I've been fighting since I was 6 years old. Boxing's a poor man's sport. It's not a YouTuber sport. Boxing's not for the faint-hearted. There's a reason why we're fighters. Something's fucking wrong with us. Boxing is our way out. Whether it's because you lack materialistic things or something inside or you're fucked up. Boxing is for the broken. It's not for YouTubers and people who've been fed with a fucking silver spoon. So I don't care to watch that shit because that's not what boxing is to me. Boxing is ugly, it's dirty, it's nasty. Boxing's so gross, if there wasn't money involved, you wouldn't deal with it. But now it's turned into like a fucking circus.
And now main eventing on Sky Sports.
Nobody want to see that shit.
I take it you're not a fan of the latest idea Misfits Boxing have of tag team tornado boxing?
I won't say a big fan. I feel like from a business standpoint, it's amazing. Business standpoint, I'm talking personally as a fighter. That's my perspective as a fighter. But in a business standpoint, it's smart. It makes money, supply and demand. The fans want to see a YouTuber fight a real fighter. That's money. You're getting ticket sales from people that aren't boxing fans. You're bringing in a whole other crowd of fans. You're creating a whole, fucking Roman empire of people that want to watch fights. But from a boxing perspective, as a professional, I don't play boxing. I live it. Basketball, football, soccer, you play with a ball. Boxing, you gotta have one. So I don't, my perspective on as a fighter is completely different than everybody else because I live this shit. And the thing about boxing, man, when you got money, you can love boxing, and then, if it don't love you back, you can walk away from it. But you gotta love boxing when she don't love you back. That means when you're not getting fights, you're not making the money you want to make, you're not getting the acknowledgement you think you deserve. You gotta love boxing, love the art, even when it don't love you back. And that's the boxing I know. It's ugly, it's nasty, it's cold, but it's sweet. That's the boxing I know.
Anthony, final question. How does this fight end on Saturday night between you and Zak Chelli?
Be honest, man, I think he's gonna walk right into a punch and I'm gonna sleep him. When you go looking for a knockout, it's when you get knocked out. And you see every punch he throws is slow as fuck, and he thinks he's a puncher, but he's not. Let me ask you something. If he's a puncher, he would have knocked fucking Jermaine Brown out, right? If he's a puncher, he'd have knocked out all the guys he's been fighting with less than, these guys have no more than 3 knockouts. That means they can't punch. That means if they can't punch, you're gonna get them, right? You go after and knock them out. There's a reason I knocked out all my fighters. In America, the boxers are on less. In America, they're more rugged. They're veterans. Here, you may fight somebody and, hey, I'm gonna have me a nice fight against Timothy Bull. Like, okay. In America, these guys have mastered closing up, staying safe, and waiting for that one moment to change the whole fight. So it's just,
the limelight, the shows now is 7-0. Feels like
Anthony, we wish you the best of luck for Saturday night. Thank you for talking to us.
Fans, I love you guys.
You've been impressive. You've been doing
I'm so happy to be back here. And, hate me, love me. I hope that you guys got love for me. But everything I say is from the heart. I'm coming back a true professional. And I want you to see the new and improved magician. You're only as great as your team. And you only get as much love as you do from your fans. So, UK, love you, baby.